Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Let's just talk about a few things before we discuss this video. I am getting over some sort of virus right now. I've had a fever and coughs and blah blah blah, all that stuff that is not fun. So I've been coughing a lot. I don't have a voice right now. I sound like a chain smoker and I just need you guys to be supportive of that during this video. My voice is gonna be really scratchy. It's actually kind of hard to speak, but the content must continue. So I wanted to do, oh my God, my voice. I'm just so not used to talking like this. Anytime I lose my voice, I'm like, whoa, who is that person? So I saw a girl named Monica Churt. I saw her do a video on the 6 dumbest purchases that she made in her 20s. And that really resonated with me because similar to what she said, I'll have her video linked below. When you're young and you come into more money than you've ever encountered and it is actually your money, it is in your name, no one has control over it except for you, it is very dangerous and it can get very dangerous very fast, and you're young, you're naive, and you make dumb purchases. I am turning 25 next week, and it really made me reflect on some of the things that I've bought since I got into YouTube and since I started making money. So a little backstory, I by no means come from, wealth or anything of that matter, but I don't want any form of pity with that. I think that being in a low to middle class family, 1, has taught me a lot, and 2, it's a lot more normal than you think. Is it right? No. Is it good? No. But it is very, very common. It's not like anything where I'm like, oh, woe is me. This is just how my life was, and that's fine. Growing up, my mom and I usually lived in a 1-bedroom, and my mom would give me the bedroom, bless her soul, because I was a growing teenage girl, and she wanted me to have that sort of privacy. Apartments were like 600 square feet. My mom would put her bed in the living room, and that would be her bedroom. We also did have a period of time where we did have a bit more money, and my mom did the same thing. She started spending recklessly, and it was like one of these things where you didn't have it for so long and then you had it and it was exciting and you wanted to spoil your kids, you wanted to spoil yourself. But we never talked about finances. It was more so like I just saw when we didn't have a lot of money, and then I saw when we had a raise of money and we were able to buy nice things, and then I also experienced the downslope again of losing our car and losing our home and all of that. So just giving you a background on my mentality, as I think my spending habits that then came in the future will make a lot more sense as to why I did some of these things. Before I say that though, I know my mom isn't here anymore, but I do just want to vocalize and say that I am so thankful for her and so thankful for my brother, because they were the two that when things were just looking like it was gonna fall apart, they always kept it together. No matter how hard or how difficult it was, everything I've learned has been because of them, and they've been my anchors in my life, and I just want to take a moment to say that. I always want to make sure that I say out loud so that I can remember it and so that others can know this was not all done by me. With that said, let's go into my reckless shopping, spending habits in my 20s. After I think a year and a half on YouTube, I made the move, and thus the spending habits begun. I do not want to throw shade on this city, but I will say that it is a different standard of living here. People have more work done, people have more designer things, people have nicer cars, people have nicer homes. At least the friends that I had, because they were all super successful in social media and they were making their money and they were spending it, and rightfully so. But it made me feel, and it made me look in on myself of like, oh, I need to match them in order to be accepted, in order to be approved. And that was such an unhealthy way of thinking. I recognize that now, but that is just the honest thought process that I had. When I first moved to LA, I had actually found a very humble, cute apartment in Little Tokyo. I think it was like 1,200 square feet and it was like $1,800 a month. And it was so cute, and looking back at it now, I should have gone. It was great. But I had found out that one of my YouTube friends was living at this building called the Vermont in Koreatown, and it was beautiful. It was a high rise. The size of the apartment was gonna be half the size. Instead of 1,200, it was gonna be like 600 square feet, and the rent there was gonna be at $2,500 a month. Now that's including utilities and all of that, but that's a price difference that I, at that time, did not need to do. I was making money for sure, but I wasn't making that, basically to put it into, math, that would have been half of my income to rent, just like that. With that said, the first terrible expense that I ever had, and probably my most expensive one yet, is luxury apartments. I've lived in LA for about 3 years now, so let's do some math. If my first apartment in Koreatown was a 12-month lease and it was $2,500 a month, and I did not have a roommate, that's $30,000. My next apartment was $3,600 a month. That was another 12-month lease, $43,000. So now we're at about $73,000. My final apartment before I became a homeowner was $4,000 a month, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, living alone, no roommates, and that was a 10-month lease. So that's $40,000. So if you put 73,200 plus 40,000, that is a $113,000 expense in 3 years of living in Los Angeles. Had I just found a roommate, had I just stayed at that cheaper apartment for $1,700 a month, right? 1,700 times 36, $61,000. That's another $40,000 to $50,000 that I could have pocketed for just about anything else, including a potential down payment for a property. I don't want to sit here and say that I regret living in those homes. They were such an amazing experience. I loved my high-rise in downtown. That was my favorite one. That was my second apartment. I'm so happy that I got to experience that because as someone that didn't grow up in luxury homes, to me it was like my chance to spoil myself and show myself like, wow, look, you can do this, which I could, but I also really couldn't. My rent put me in debt many times, but no one ever saw that or knew that. So just a very ignorant expense. I think I could have found a roommate, I could have found cheaper options, but instead I copied what I saw around me. In turn, I wasted $113,000. Mistake number 2. Do you guys remember Yeezys? Oh yes, Yeezys. I mean, Yeezys are still a thing, but I'm talking like the original Yeezys with the kind of ribbed sole and the cloth pattern. I don't know, just like the Yeezys, the first Yeezys that ever came out. They were super high demand, they still are, but they were even higher demand at the time because it was this huge thing that Kanye West had come out with his own line of shoes. I had been wanting Yeezys. Keep in mind, I am living in my high-rise, my first high-rise in Koreatown, and I'm like, I'm doing good for myself. I'm gonna spoil myself. My mental health wasn't the greatest at the time, and one of the ways that I would satisfy or kind of calm myself down was by impulse shopping. My size, which is a size 4, I believe, in men, it's a super rare small size, is just that, a super rare one. So I bought used Yeezys, not even new, for $1,600. What the fuck? Who am I? Who do I think I am? And the crazy part is when I told all my friends about it, when I told my family about it, I had a reason and an excuse when everybody was like, what? That makes no sense. I'm like,
no, but like it's a really popular shoe and it's like a smaller size, and like if you think about it, technically I'm saving money in the long run because like I would have ended up buying like 5 Yeezys, and what if they didn't fit?
Like I was just coming up with stuff out of my ass to justify these $1,600 used shoes. Oh my god. Looking at this is just taking me, like when I wrote this list I was like, oh yeah, that was dumb, but now like going through it and trying to timeline it, it's just taking me down like a trip down memory lane of what the hell was I doing the whole time? Mistake number 3, buying business class flights for me and my best friend to Thailand. I do not regret my flight experience to Thailand. I do not regret surprising my best friend Diamond with her graduation gift of tickets to Thailand because it was her dream destination, and in turn it became our dream destination, and we based all of our Christmas gifts and everything around this dream trip to Thailand. The most expensive part of Thailand is getting to Thailand. Everything else there is super cheap. I've heard people who have been like, flew to Thailand, got food, stayed in a hotel, and flew back for under $1,000, and I'm like, right. Don't know what that's like. I was living also in my Koreatown apartment. Why did I make so many mistakes in this apartment? Oh my god. I just did all of my bad spending during this time. So those round trip business class, which was first class on this airplane tickets, were a total of about $4,000. Like $3,500. Actually, like business flight tickets can be very expensive. It's actually shockingly cheap that we're able to get them for like $1,700 round trip to Thailand, because that's typically how much it costs just to get up to like Canada or New York or something like that. I think what it was is that I really wanted to fly business class, and I was like, well, if Diamond and I are flying in together, I'm not gonna buy business class and have her sit in economy, so I'll just buy us both business class tickets. And I put that on my credit card, and we'll be talking about credit cards at the very end of this video, so just keep that in mind. A lot of this stuff, actually, a lot of this stuff was on my credit card. The shoes, sometimes my rent, and definitely this flight, because travel points It's a bonus, but the whole point of credit cards is to know that you can pay them off the next month, and we'll get into that. I do want to say, I do think it's, again, important to treat yourself. You just need to make sure that you are financially ready, and you need to figure out what is important to you. I have found that I still genuinely really prefer flying business class, but I also make sure when I book business, it is coming out of my checking. I'm gonna be financially okay for that entire month. Like, it's not gonna affect me. It's kind of just like, I have this, I'm gonna spend it. I also don't fly very often, so I'm okay with it being a longer than 7-hour flight, giving myself that upgrade. I don't do it all the time, but sometimes I do. I don't feel guilty about that anymore. But at this time, I was making significantly less than what I do now, and it put me in some really bad places. So for me, I know that I enjoy that luxury, but it also makes me aware of like, okay, if I'm gonna spend my money on this month, where can I tighten up my budget in other places? I'm not gonna eat out as much. I'm not gonna get Ubers as much. Things like that. Okay, I'm being very transparent with you guys in this video, so I hope it helps some of you guys. My fourth financial mistake and my second most expensive financial mistake is going to be the car that I am leasing. And that is going to be my 2018 black Porsche Cayenne. Let me tell you how this car came in the picture. First, I'll tell you how much the car costs, okay? Oh God. It's hard because this isn't a past one. This is one that I'm currently dealing with. Transparency is key though. This car is $1160 a month, okay? That's just the car payment. Gas is about $250 a month, and car insurance is anywhere between $150 to $200 a month. So in total, the actual cost of this car is more around $1,600 a month. Now, let me tell you about how stupid this decision even came about. Before this car, I had a Mercedes-Benz C-Class. It was my first leased car. That car was only $375 a month. Great car. I was like 17 months into the term of 30 months or whatever, 3 years, 36 months. When you wreck your car, like you take it into the shop or you do oil changes, whatever, they'll give you a courtesy loaner vehicle. So they were like, hey, we actually ran out of the compact C-Class cars, but we have like a mini SUV version of your car. Would you be comfortable driving that? And I was like, oh yeah, that sounds kind of nice. Like it's a mid-size SUV. I'll feel a little safer. Let's give it a go. I got the car. I fell in love with it. I ended up having the car for maybe a week or a week and a half. And I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm higher up. I feel safe. I need to get a luxury SUV vehicle. What I started Googling was how to get out of a lease fast, how to switch, how to upgrade your lease, how to do this, how to do that. I ended up finding out that when you lease a vehicle, no matter where you go, if it is an upgrade from the current car that you have, aka it's more expensive, a lot of cars are gonna take it on, but that's because they then take whatever remaining balance is on that car and put it onto your new car, thus making your new car even more expensive. I thought at the time they just bite the total because they're like, yeah, sure, whatever, we'll lose like $10,000 if it means that you're gonna take this car off the lot for us. That's what I ignorantly thought. So I had like $6,500 remaining on the balance of $375 for another, 16, 17 months. So they took that balance and put it on top of my Porsche Cayenne. I got a step above the base model, which is the Platinum Edition. So at that time, the MSRP was like $75,000. You add this on, it's now an $82,000 vehicle that I'm not even gonna keep, that I'm not even going to keep. Like this money, especially becoming a homeowner, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm literally just throwing the money and saying,
thanks for the ride. Like, thanks for the ride, here's $1,200.
That's that. I'm now in a 36-month lease. So it'll be up in December of 2020. I have done so many things to actually try and get rid of this car. I've put it on Lease Trader. I've put it on whatever the other one is. There's like websites where you can put your leased vehicle up for someone else to obtain it and take it over. Nobody wants to take my car because they know that they could just go to Porsche and get it for $900 a month instead of $1,200 a month. Rightfully so. I've just like understood that if I'm not gonna be able to lease this car out to someone else, that I just have to bite the expense. This car is, after 36 months, gonna be a loss. Oh my God, I've never actually done this math. $42,000. $42,000, and I don't even plan to keep the car after. I think maybe when I first got it, I was like, yeah, I'll keep the car. And then Teslas became a thing, and I was like, oh wait, I really want a Tesla Model 3 because it's good for the environment, minimizing your carbon footprint, no gasoline, the safest car in the world. I love Teslas. That's the car that I really want to get now, and it's half the price. In fact, it'll probably cost as much as I'll have spent in 3 years on my Porsche. Definitely one of the most heart-wrenching expenses. Am I grateful to drive a luxury vehicle? Yes. Am I grateful that I can afford a luxury vehicle? Yes. Do I think it is completely idiotic that I got myself into a 3-year lease on a luxury vehicle that I do not need or really even care about? Yes. My fifth and final dumbest purchase is going to be my YSL bag. My thing will be I'll buy myself a new designer bag every year. No, I don't even like designer bags anymore. Like, I use a tiny little backpack that's $26 and I love it so much. This YSL bag is just like your basic black pouch. It's like a mid-sized black pouch. It doesn't even say YSL all over it. It has like the tiniest little text that says YSL. This bag was $3,000. I don't remember, but I know that it was a $3,000 expense because I called my financial advisor that I had at the time and I was like, is it okay if I do this? And she was like, no. And I was like, I'm gonna do it anyway. So I bought a $3,000 bag that I did get a lot of use out of for the first year. I'm actually probably gonna sell that purse at some point, but I just am like, you know, I just haven't started the process for it. But it was just not smart. In general, I just don't even care for designer bags anymore. And that also went on my credit card. Final thing that I'll say before I end this video is that a lot of the purchases that I made in the first 2 years of me living in LA went on my credit card. I was in a place where for a long time I had $25,000 to $30,000 in credit card debt at any given time. What would happen is I'd make money from brand deals, I'd make money from my sponsorship, I'd pay off the credit cards, or maybe there'd be like $2,000 remaining the balance. Then I would clear out my checking account, so then the cycle continued of putting it on my credit card, putting it on my credit card, putting it on my credit card. Did I get a ton of points? Yes. But this was the most irresponsible 2 years of my life that I ever had, and I was actually addicted to my credit cards. It was this cycle that, like, the number was so big and I didn't like seeing it. It was scary that I would always just pay it off as quickly as I could, but then I'd be like, oh, well, $11,000 is coming soon, and then it wouldn't come. And I'd be like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have to go back to using my credit card. So it was a really bad, unhealthy cycle that I had with my credit card. So I started Googling ways to like limit your credit card usage. One of them could be just, I don't know, not using them or cutting them up or whatever. I physically froze mine in like Tupperware and I put water in it and I froze it so I could not access them. I will say that this method was very effective, but it was, you know, a bit extreme because, you know, also there's Apple Pay and you could save cards on your Apple Pay. So I'm not saying I continue to do that, but credit card debt is a real thing. Credit card interest is a real thing. That is gonna be it for these 5 dumbest purchases that I made in my 20s. Again, shout out to Monica Church for this video. So creative and really made me think. If you guys wanna comment down below some of your dumbest purchases, please do. We could all use the humility right now of just accepting and owning up to our mistakes, but also recognizing that we are trying to learn from them or that we have learned from them. And I've probably strained my voice more than I should have in the last 30 minutes. I'm gonna try and condense this into like 15. I don't know, we'll hope for the best. If you guys enjoyed this video, do me a favor and like it, throw it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel. I'm uploading quite a bit this month. The goal is 20. However, since I got sick, it might be like 18 or 19, but I'm really gonna aim for 20. I love you guys so much. I'll catch you guys in my next video, and besitos.